Alright, now we've got the backside of the muscles already sprayed with the spray adhesive. You're going to start with these two squares. This is just to poke the chest out a little bit more, make it look a little bigger. This is 1/2 inch upholstery foam. And with the chest, I start with the center and work my way out. Making sure that I push down the edges completely. That. Grab the next one. And it's fine if you've got some gap between the muscles. In fact, it's probably better if you do. So that way when we skin it with a thinner foam, it will actually go down in between the muscles and show muscle definition a bit better. And there's the chest. We're gonna work on, just work our way down. Again, I like to start in the middle so that way I know I have that evenly down the center. Now this piece here directly under the chest, I did not cut that piece in as much of an angle as compared to the ab pieces, because I wanted the ab pieces to be much flatter and have much more contrast between the upper muscles and the lower muscles, basically. And you know, like I said, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because you're gonna cover it up anyway. I like to label my muscles at the top and the center so that way I know that I get them on there, at least kind of in the right way. And normally I use contact cement for this, but this, I'm just showing you a quicker way. Especially with Halloween coming up just around the corner. This is going to be like a one-day project. You know, if that even, honestly. But I am noticing that these edges aren't sticking quite as well with this spray adhesive as contact cement. Contact cement works better. And if you'll notice, I'm leaving quite a bit of space in between each of the muscles. This is to allow the thinner foam to get in between and really show the muscle definition. Hot out here. And yeah, you know, I got those flipped, but it'll be fine. It's just cosplay. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now we spray the really small ones, the red pieces. And I'll just go on and keep on pushing the edges down and get them just as good as I can. Let those set for a second. All right, it's been about a minute. They should be good and sticky now. These ones I cut pretty much in half because, I mean, this section of it doesn't really need to stick out a whole lot anyway. And you know, honestly, this is for my red hood, so I'll be wearing a jacket anyway. So I mean, this section will be, you know, covered. Here's pushing it on there. Try to make sure you get the edges pushed down just as best as you can. And you know, there you go. That's pretty much it for the actual muscle part. And now it's time to go ahead and skin it. So I'll get everything all set up for that. All right, what I've got here is just a really thin piece of upholstery foam. I believe it's about 1/8 inch thick. And I've cut it to, you know, the approximate size of around the muscles. Doesn't be exactly perfect, but close. You know, bigger is better. What we're gonna do is we're gonna spray it with spray adhesive on, you know, this side and on top of the muscles. And I'm gonna push it down, push it on as tight as I can, and push it down in between the muscles. When I'm doing this, I'm making sure that I really get in between the muscles as well as on top, because I really want the muscle definition to show through. All right, I've got both pieces sprayed, and then I'll let it set for just about a minute, and then I'll be pushing it together. All right, it should be pretty close to being able to set, so you want to be careful and don't commit to the press yet, but get it lined up the best you can. And get it centered and make sure that you pull it to the edge on each side. That. Try to keep it just as smooth as you can. And you want to put quite a lot of pressure on it in order to get it to stick well. really make sure you get down in between the muscles. Sorry if it's shaking. I'm pushing down on it pretty hard. Let me just move that. You do want to work quick with this as well, because you don't want it to basically set up and not be able to get it to stick. Like I said, I'm really focusing on this center line, getting it stuck, so I want that nice definition in there. Really get in between the muscles. And you could also very well use contact cement for this part as well. It would take a lot of contact cement, which is why I prefer this method, because it's quicker and saves my contact cement. But that is that part of it. Now the next part, we put a shirt on over it. All right, let's put some texture on this shirt. It's just a regular Hanes black t-shirt from Walmart. And I've got an old gym bag here that I've cut up. It doesn't have to be a gym bag, it can be any kind of mesh material that you like the shape of. But what we're gonna do is add some spray adhesive on it first, just lightly, just enough to get it to hold in place and stay on flat. You want to get lined up on there best you can. This has a seam going down the middle, so I'm basically just using that as part of the pattern on the shirt. And basically just want to get it pushed down just about as flat as you can, because you want all this pattern to show up on the shirt, which is why you're using spray adhesive to get it to stick. But you have to work quick, otherwise it'll be stuck to the shirt. So once you get all pushed down, get the spray paint. I want to have kind of a metallic look. That's what I'm going for. And you can go heavier in some areas if you want. I'll call that good for now. And you just peel it off. Like that. And that's how you get texture on the shirt. Now it doesn't quite look, professional, but it works in a pinch. Just like that. And if I want to get the whole shirt, get it just as flat as I can, and repeat the process, and just try to match up the seams the best I can. Might still be still a little bit of stick to it. Gotta be good enough to stick it down like that. And you just go over the bottom part. Just like that. And that looks interesting. Like I said, not perfect, but it works in a pinch. And I'm gonna put this over a muscle torso, and that'll kind of blend in on the rougher parts. And I can, dry brush some shading on there and kind of blend it in even more, and it looks weathered, and that's it. Okay, so this is probably the most requested part of muscle suits that I have yet to ever actually film, and that is putting the shirt on over it and how I do that. Now, most times people build muscle suits, they use one-piece bodysuit, the zipper in the back, and they spray glue it or contact cement and work their way up. Well, with me, I just use regular t-shirts. And so with no zippers or anything, so how I do that, I get the shirt on there just as straight as I can. And then I just roll it up. Sometimes it's easier said than done. And it's essentially the same thing as doing it with a one-piece bodysuit, except in reverse. Basically inside out, like that. Where you've got your muscle torso and most of your shirt showing. And you want the part that you're gluing down first, because it'll be a kind of multi-part thing, with as little wrinkles as possible. And you grab your spray adhesive, and you just spray it and work little by little going down. You want to focus make sure you get the center and around each muscles. Let it set for 30 seconds to a minute approximately. And once it's time to put it down, you want to make sure that you try to keep it just as straight as you can. And give me a second. And once you finally get it down and where it's supposed to be, you really push down in between the muscles and the areas that you sprayed. let that set. And once it's all nice and set and tacky, but not wet, it's also much easier to do this on a mannequin that is sturdy and not into actual parts. But sometimes you do get wrinkles. It just sometimes becomes part of the cosplay. It's a wrinkly muscle shirt now. So, you know, mistakes happen. So, you can also sometimes pull it apart. But the main thing is you still want to get that muscle definition to show. You will most likely lose most of the definition in the ribs because they are very small. But you just keep on working it, pushing it until you get the definition that you're going for. But see, you know, mistakes happen sometimes. If you really didn't like the wrinkles, you could probably just cut those off and lay them flat, which is what I will probably do. But that's basically how you glue down a shirt. I suggest doing it on a mannequin that is actually sturdy and not in two parts. That will help a lot and save you some trouble. But the next thing I'm going to do to kind of help make the muscles show up even more is I'll probably go over it with another light coat of silver just to brighten it up a little bit. And then I'm going to dry brush with black in between each of the muscles to get them to show up even more. All right, now we're going to dry brush a bit of black in between the muscles, make them show up a little bit more. You see very little bit of black paintbrush. And get just some on there, try to get some of it off. And then you just start brushing in between the muscles. Just to darken it up a bit to where it's a little bit more noticeable, and you'll do that in between all the muscles you want to show up. And with this, you want to make sure that you go light with it because you don't want to go too heavy and make it not look quite right. If you get a bit of a heavy spot, just really rub it and try to spread it out the best you can. All right, now that we've got the muscles dry brushed, shirt all glued down, there's one last thing to do, and that's to glue on the emblem. This is one that I made out of 6mm EVA foam. I got the chest shape by halfway cutting the back, filling it with hot glue. I also heat formed it and curved it a bit, and I already battle damaged it. And I'm just gonna use some super glue to glue it on there. I like to use the Gorilla super glue. It is quick and easy. And when I glue on my emblems, I get the edges, the center, and a little bit in there in the middle. push it on. You line it up in the center first, make sure it's straight, and work your way out and just hold it here until it dries. I think the super glue here kind of goes with the theme of quick and easy. And to me, that's what this whole build is about. Quick and easy. There you have it. Quick and easy Red Hood muscle torso.